Why narcissists are terrified when you stop needing them. Let me tell you something you might not want to hear. There are people walking among us, smiling, nodding, maybe even pretending to be your friend, but deep down, they're terrified. Yeah, terrified. You see, these people, these narcissists, they don't just fear storms, sickness, or the kind of chaos you can see coming. No, what really shakes them to their core, the thing that rattles their bones, is something way more subtle. It's when you rise. I'm talking about when you get a little too happy. When you start breathing a little too freely. When you start living without needing their permission. Oh, that sends them spiraling. They don't know how to handle it. It doesn't matter if you didn't even intend to make them uncomfortable. It doesn't matter if your joy doesn't even involve them. Just the fact that you exist and your life has no place for them in it. That's enough to make their world crumble. And what? Because the last thing a narcissist can stand is seeing you live without them at the center of your universe. It threatens their fragile sense of control. It threatens their desperate need for validation. They'll do anything, say anything, to pull you back into their orbit. Because, my friend, you are their oxygen. Without you, they suffocate. 1. The hollow ache. Now, let's get to the heart of it. These narcissists, they're not just walking around acting like they own the world. No, they've got this deep, hollow ache inside them, a wound that never quite heals. It's like a child still waiting for a parent who never shows up. It's a brokenness they try to cover up with pride and polish, but the cracks are there. Oh, you can see them if you look close enough. And here's the thing, they can't stand the sight of anyone else walking around happy, especially if that happiness doesn't come with them as the star of the show. You've probably seen it before, right? They look at you and something about your joy, your peace, your light, seems to make them twitch. They can't figure out why you don't need them to be happy. They can't figure out how you've managed to find joy without their approval. And that, my friend, is the worst thing that can happen to them. Because in their eyes, happiness is supposed to be theirs to control. And when it's not, when it doesn't have their name written all over it, it sends them into this kind of invisible, toxic panic. I mean, let's be real. They're not just mad. They're hurt. Not because of anything you've done to them. It's because they can't stand the idea of you thriving without them. And that deep ache? It's like a constant reminder that they might be irrelevant in your life, something they'll never, ever allow. Not without a fight. 2. The earthquake of your joy. Let me tell you something, there's a moment in every narcissist's life that shakes them to the core. It's when you rise. When you wake up, stretch, and find yourself living without their approval. The second your happiness isn't tied to them, oh, baby, that's when their world starts to tremble. You could be laughing, breathing, even just existing, and it drives them insane. The worst part is, you probably didn't even mean to make them uncomfortable. You're not even doing it on purpose. But let me tell you something about narcissists, they don't know how to handle someone who doesn't need them. For them, it's a betrayal, plain and simple. It's like you've ripped the rug out from under them, and their carefully crafted world begins to collapse. And all they can do is stare at you, resentful and angry, trying to figure out why you're not begging for their validation. Why you're living without their permission. And in their mind, that's the ultimate act of rebellion. You, living without their shadow hovering over your every step? That's a slap in the face. Because you're proving to them, and to yourself, that you can thrive without them. And that's the scariest thing a narcissist can see. They know, deep down, that their entire sense of self-worth hinges on being needed. And when you stand tall, completely unshaken, they realize they might not be as essential as they thought. And that's their worst nightmare. 3. The control game. Let's talk about control for a second. Narcissists love control. They don't just want it, they need it. They have this almost obsessive need to be the center of every room they walk into. They want to control the mood, the temperature, the energy. Hell, they want to control your thoughts, too. It's like they've spent a lifetime perfecting this skill, fine-tuning their ability to manipulate people and situations to keep their throne. But let me tell you something, when you start living outside of their control, it's like pulling the rug out from under them. And that, my friend, is when they get truly dangerous. See, here's the deal. When you're happy, when you're growing, when you're thriving without their input, they lose their grip. And the narcissist can't stand that. They have to be in control. They need to make sure you're always looking to them for validation. If you're succeeding without them in your corner, if you're happy without needing their permission, that's a threat they can't ignore. They'll start to chip away at you. They'll throw passive-aggressive comments your way. They'll try to dim your light. And it's all because your growth, your joy, it reminds them that they're not in charge, that you are in control of your own life. Now, don't get me wrong. These narcissists are smart. They won't come out and say it. They won't scream, "I need to control you." Instead, they'll make you feel guilty. They'll make you question your own choices. And the more you try to rise without them, the more they'll turn the screws. Because a narcissist who's not controlling you, that's a narcissist who's losing everything. 4. The subtle manipulation. Alright, let's dive into something real here. The subtle manipulation. It's quiet, sneaky, and almost invisible if you're not paying attention. These narcissists? They don't always come at you with a full frontal attack. No. They're too crafty for that. Instead, they start with the small things. The little things that make you question your happiness. Maybe it's a comment like, "I just want you to be happy," followed by a look that says, "But not without me." Or they'll throw a compliment at you, but it comes with a string attached, something that makes you feel like you owe them in return. Here's the twist. They'll make you think it's about them caring for you, when in reality, it's all about them needing you to stay within their grasp. They don't want you to rise and soar. They want you to stay down under their thumb. And the minute you show even the faintest hint that you're leaning toward real happiness, that you're stepping outside their storm, they'll pounce. Oh, they'll manipulate you back into their world, one comment at a time, until you're questioning everything again. They'll try to convince you that your joy isn't real unless it's approved by them. They'll twist your victories, mock your progress, and make you doubt yourself. It's all part of their plan, make you feel like you need them to be whole. They'll plant seeds of doubt so subtle, so carefully crafted, you won't even realize what's happening until it's too late. But don't be fooled. It's all a game. And you're the pawn they're trying to move. 5. The narcissist's fear of being forgotten. Listen, narcissists aren't just about controlling you, they're about controlling how you see them. And the scariest thing to a narcissist? It's not a storm or a fight, it's irrelevance. When you stop paying attention, when your life starts moving on without them at the center of it, they start to unravel. You see, a narcissist isn't just addicted to power. No, they're addicted to validation. They need you to constantly see them as the hero in your story. But the moment they realize they're no longer the protagonist in your life, that's when the panic sets in. They will do whatever it takes to reinsert themselves back into that narrative. They'll manipulate you. They'll make you feel guilty. They'll guilt-trip you into thinking you owe them something. All because they can't stand the idea that you might move on and forget them. Forgetting them? That's a death sentence to their fragile ego. You stop needing them, you stop thinking about them, and suddenly they're not important anymore. And when a narcissist isn't important, well, they're nobody. That thought terrifies them more than anything else. They live in a constant state of, will they forget me? So, they'll chase your attention like a dog chasing its tail, all while pretending it doesn't matter. But trust me, it matters. It matters more than anything. 6. The hidden war. Narcissists are fighters. They're warriors in their own little universe, battling with shadows and insecurities they don't even understand. But the problem is, they think they're fighting you. And here's the sad irony, they're not. They're fighting themselves. They want to control you so badly, but in doing so, they've locked themselves into a prison they built with their own hands. They look at your peace, your happiness, your success, and they see it as a threat, a reminder that they're not in charge. But in reality, you're not the one they should be worried about. No, the war isn't between you and them, it's inside them. It's their own fear, their own insecurity, and their own desperate need to feel relevant. And that's the strangest thing, isn't it? They want control, but in their obsession with it, they're controlled by their own anxiety, their own need for validation. The more they try to manipulate you, the more they lose themselves. Because the truth is, when you refuse to be part of their war, when you refuse to engage in their drama, you take away their power. You don't have to fight. You don't have to throw punches. You just have to stand tall and walk away from the chaos. And that, my friend, is when they lose. 7. The ultimate truth. Let me hit you with the most important thing you'll hear today. You don't need them. And I don't mean just in a, I'm fine without them sort of way. I mean in a deep, real, spiritual sense. You don't need a narcissist to define your happiness, your peace, your growth. You don't need their approval, their validation, or their control. And once you realize that, truly realize that, you become something they'll never understand, free. The narcissist will spend their life chasing after you, trying to pull you back into their storm, trying to dim your light. They'll throw guilt, shame, and manipulation your way. But here's the great irony. They can't control you unless you let them. They can't break you unless you bend to their game. And the moment you stop playing their game, that's when the real power shifts. This is where you find your strength. It's not in their approval. It's not in their validation. It's in your ability to rise, walk in peace, and live without their constant tug at your soul. Because, my friend, the real strength is in standing tall in your own truth. And no narcissist, no matter how charming, how cunning, how manipulative, can ever take that from you. They want to control you? Fine. Let them try. But while they're stuck in their endless loop of manipulation and chaos, you'll be over here, living, breathing, growing, without their permission. And that, my friend, is the loudest answer you could ever give. Narcissists can't stand your growth. Your joy, your peace, your rise without their approval? That's the one thing they fear the most. It's not about them controlling your life, it's about you not needing them to feel whole. They live for your validation, they need to be the center of your universe, but once you stop giving them that power, well, that's when the cracks in their mask start to show. They'll manipulate, guilt trip, and try to control your every move, because your independence shakes them to the core. But here's the truth. When you stop playing their game, when you stand tall without their permission, you take back your power. You don't need them to be happy. You don't need their approval to live your best life. And that, my friend, is when they lose. You become untouchable. Free. So, if you've been stuck in this cycle, or you see yourself in any of this, it's time to stop shrinking. It's time to rise. If you liked what you heard today, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and drop a comment below. Let's keep this conversation going. And make sure you check out the other videos on the channel. Trust me, you don't want to miss them.